What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at Fans Hobby MB-04 Gunfighter 2, otherwise known as G2 Optimus Prime. And before we go any further, I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Yule. He ended up ordering 2 of these, and he ended up he sent this to Skullface, and then onward to me and said, go ahead, just keep it. So big shout out for that. I wasn't planning on getting this guy, but now that he's here, I am certainly not going to complain. So let's get on to the review. As you can see, it's the same thing as Arch Enemy. I mean, we've seen it before. We got a little bit of difference going on here and a lot of the same, you know? I mean, it's the same truck and everything. I kind of wish these were darker, like the fact that you can see right through them. I don't know, it kind of bothers me a little because you can see the head in there, and that's not a problem you could have seen with the Arch Enemy version of this mold. But really, that's just kind of a minor complaint. My biggest complaint is that they didn't line up these at all. And clearly, so you can see where this one ends. There's no way that these two pieces were painted at the same time. So I don't know if this is going to be a one-off type issue or if this is going to be a widespread issue. But these clearly weren't painted when it was together in like truck mode like this. So it could be every single one of them is tolerant such that the paint doesn't go down far enough on the one side. It's a relatively easy fix. I'm just going to break out some glossy black, and I'm just going to give it another little go with my airbrush later. But if that's something you can't live with, I would be aware of it. I don't know if it's affected every single one of them, but it certainly affected mine. And assuming that the paint guns are set to the same, distance for every single one that comes off, I would not be surprised to see everyone have this problem. That said, from the side you don't really notice it too much. It's really only a top thing that you'll really see that is off. Other than that, I mean, he's good. Let's go ahead and bring out, let's move the camera back a little, because he is huge. And you just don't get that scale unless you see him next to an MP10 Optimus usually, but unfortunately I don't have one here for comparison. But here he is next to Arch Enemy. I do believe that Arch Enemy is the nicer version of this. Just the fact that he's cast in black, I think, makes the grill look better. If I get time, I'm probably going to go ahead and fill in every single one of these with black paint, because I just feel like it looks better when that's all filled in, and it doesn't look as nice on Optimus. So before we go on to the transformation here, I just wanted to point out that Arch Enemy only came with one accessory, and that was this sword. And you can see it's the same red that was used for the window. Gunfighter 2, he comes with a blue sword, but it's kind of a light blue, you see? And it's the same thing that the windows are, but it feels, I don't know, it's cool because it's like a crystal sword. I mean, you can see the tires, it's very translucent. It's neat, but I kind of end up wishing that it had like this screwdriver blue to it, and I think that would have looked nice in the windows here. And this is just your typical like Warbitron, we're gonna let you fix your own toy screwdriver. I just feel like that would have been a better choice. As it stands, the sword's okay, but I don't think I'll ever use it. It's probably just gonna sit in the box. What I will end up using though are the 2 guns, and I think I'll give one of the guns to Arch Enemy, and one of them can be Optimus Prime's here. So you see I have a very G1 Optimus Prime gun, cast in black, a little bit of silver and gold paint detailing, and then the red paint detailing, and it has the peg here, and it flips down, and there's the hand hole, and you can plug it into this slot right here, and just plug it into the back of the truck like that, if that's your thing. I'm kind of hoping that there's a trailer coming for this at some point. We'll see. Same thing with this double barrel gun, just red detailing, no silver or gold on this one. But once again, you can flip down the handle and plug it right into the back. So one thing I want to point out is you saw that the guns do go into the back of Gunfighter here. But Arch Enemy doesn't have that slot. He actually has like a round peg hole here. So Arch Enemy's gun, you can't stick Gunfighter's gun into Arch Enemy. If you put the peg out, you can kind of get it in there like that, but it is definitely differently molded here, which I find a little bit strange. So one thing when I pick up Gunfighter and I pick up Arch Enemy, Gunfighter feels like he's lighter weight than Arch Enemy. He comes in at 1 pound 8 ounces, basically 7.9 ounces. So let's go ahead and take Arch Enemy and see if my suspicion is correct here. Yep, 1 pound 13 ounces. So what's that? like an 8-ounce difference, so half a pound difference there. So yeah, if you're a die-cast lover, the Arch Enemy mold has way more die-cast than the Gunfighter mold. So let's go ahead and transform this guy to robot mode. I did Arch Enemy so we can do the comparison, and actually where you get the extra die-cast is on the shins here. These are plastic, where they're die-cast on Arch Enemy. So that's where the difference lies. But anyway, let's get him transformed. We're only going to go to robot mode. In the Arch Enemy video, I have it both ways. So we're going to rotate these panels in after we unplug them from those wheels. Now take those wheels here and just slide them up on both sides. And then flip the toe down and then the heel spur up. Very nice blue die cast here, and not nearly as cold as my Arch Enemy's feet, so it actually made me think it wasn't die cast for a second. Take the legs, split them, and pull them down. The only thing you need to know for going back is that there is this button here that you can't collapse the leg unless you push that button first. So it's really the only tricky part. Otherwise, it's just reversing what we did. Take these panels, close them on up here, exposing this nice silver and gold piston here. And we're gonna come up to the top. Told you, very simple, very straightforward. Let's actually go to the back first, and we'll go ahead and open this panel here and then fold it down just like so. Then take the arms out to the side, split this like that, and you can kind of clear the front like that and bring it up. I personally like to bring it up like this just to get a little bit closer. It's just the preferred way. I have it. Next we're going to open up, well, I have to usually pull this little piece here, and it kind of moves this piece here a little for me to get my finger under there to open it up. So just kind of rock it back and forth a little until I can get it all the way open, and then open that up. Take the head and you have to spin it so it clears and bring it around and close that up. From here, take these, not sure if they're the air brake or fuel canisters, whatever, bring them around and fold them on in here. Just like so. And then we can take the arms, bring them on down here, open up this panel like this, and flip the fist out and close it up, and flip the hand around, and we'll do the same thing to this side. Open it, and I will say on the red plastic, these are not toleranced as well as they are on Arch Enemy. So closing it up and getting everything in there and clicking in and feeling nice, it doesn't feel right for Arch Enemy. But there you go. We got him in his robot mode. Let's go ahead and bring the camera back down a little bit here. And I'm glad they did this with the with Gunfighter here. Just referred to him as Arch Enemy like 3 times. But one thing I want to point out is that he does have like chromed eyes, so he doesn't end up looking completely lifeless. Of course, it's not really showing up in my camera, but in person, it ends up looking just fine. The guns, very nicely, they have a little ridge on the back, and they just slot right into a little connecting point on the hands here. Super nice, so you're not going to lose those, and fold closed if you prefer that one. Of course, most people are going to end up going with the Optimus Prime gun. That's what I'm going to do, and I think he looks fantastic carrying it. As previously, if you want to store a gun, you do have these here, which you flip 180, and they expose this. There's one on each side. This one is a little bit looser for me. You just kind of take this, and you can peg it right in here, and it is a little on the difficult side because that connection there does want to end up moving while you're doing it, but you can just have it plugged in or up or whatever you want, and it looks nice. So the one thing that they took out of Arch Enemy, for who knows what reason, is that the chest opens up. And I don't know why they would seal that in there for Arch Enemy, but it's not for Gunfighter. But as you can see, there is a small problem. The matrix doesn't really clip in any way. It's just kind of held in there by suggestion. So like the slightest movement and it's just gonna fall right on out of his chest. I haven't found any way that it goes in more securely or anything. Like there's a little piece of plastic right there that looks like it's supposed to hold it, but it really doesn't make any contact with it. Definitely a little slot there for you to get your finger or like a tool, like a Hale Hasbro tool under to get the matrix out without damaging anything, but you don't need to because you just tilt it and it falls right out. Now I will say it's probably one of the nicest looking matrix ever. They do tout it as a pendant. You can put your chain right through here. I kind of wish they didn't do that and it was just a standard matrix. Like I'm not gonna wear this. Yeah, but like it has, I mean, I'm sure it's not like an expensive jewel or anything, but it looks nice. It's one of the nicest looking matrix that I've actually held. So for reference here, I actually have a couple matrices. I'm not sure which one this came with. I think it maybe was Fans Toys Galvatron because it came with the chain, presumably to put around his neck. I hope it was Galvatron. And you can see just like the difference in that gem. Like the real gem in there just like really makes it look like some kind of like sparkling energy. Where this just looks like plastic. Like it's really not special. And for reference, this is from the year of the Horse Optimus. I think the actual MP10 has a blue matrix as opposed to this green one. It's stylized a little nicer. It catches light a little bit better, but it still just looks kind of like plastic, whereas this one just really catches the light nicely and just really looks like energy is coursing through it, in my opinion. You can just kind of see by moving them both that the blue one is just a little more brilliant. So yeah, ultimately I don't have much more to say about this guy. There is a little bit of retooling here on the chest to make it look a little bit different from the windows that RID Prime had, to just kind of like almost like the louvered windows of the G2 Prime. You can see there's a slight shoulder retool down here. Everything else is the same. Same like picked out paint apps on here, except silver versus the teal, which I think the teal looks nicer. And then when you come down to the knee pads, same knee pads, just painted differently, and they do give a very, very different aesthetic, if you ask me. So, of course, let's put our Gunfighter here, and then let's go ahead and bring in the MP10 Optimus just for a little size comparison, and this is the year of the horse, and you can see to the top of Optimus's head is about the same. So this is a real nice MP scaled Optimus Prime. It does make me want to start fleshing out some G2 a little bit. Dug out my old classics Gold Bug here. There we go, there's Gold Bug to go with them. Darn it, Yule. He's making me look into a different collection here. One that I wasn't planning to go down. Anyway, he's awesome. He's really nice. If you haven't messed with this mold and you only would get it because it's Prime, you're not going to regret it. If you just want to check out the mold and you don't care whether it's Optimus or Nemesis Prime, go with Nemesis Prime. I feel like he's a little bit higher quality. Everything feels a little better. I don't know if it's just the difference between red and black plastic, but somehow he feels better. Just one thing to keep in mind, those eyes are not painted. They're very dead when you get them. Mine I painted. This guy does have like a chrome eyes, which the more I look at it, the more I kind of want to paint him the same way I did the Year of the Horse Optimus Prime. Just kind of makes it look a little bit more full of life all the time. Anyway, this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.